I like to play volleyball, sketch, and avoid sewing zippers at all costs. In today's tutorial, I'm going to show you how to sew a centered zipper. Centered. Hi friends, welcome back to So Obvious. I'm Apolinar. A lot of people find zippers to be very intimidating. I know when I first started sewing, I avoided them at all costs. I still kind of do because making clothes out of stretchy fabric is a lot easier because they don't need buttons or zippers. However, zippers are very easy to install if you know what you're doing or if you have somebody guiding you through what to do. There's all different types of zippers that you can install. There's invisible, there's centered, there's slapped, there's exposed. All of those are zippers that I'm going to show you guys at some point. But in today's video, I'm going to focus on the easiest and most basic zipper, the centered zipper. The centered zipper is perfect for beginners because there's not a lot of fancy work involved. It's pretty basic, straight stitching, basting, pinning, that's it. So in order for us to first install a centered zipper, we need to create a seam. So this seam is going to have two parts. It's going to have the part of the seam where the zipper is going to be, and then the part of the seam where the zipper is not going to be. So we're actually going to be using two different stitches. But before we get to that part, we got to make sure that we measure where our zipper is going to be. So we do that by laying down the zipper on top of the fabric, and then we are going to mark where the zipper stops, which is this metal piece. We're going to mark where that ends, or right after it ends. Mark it. And with our scissors, we are going to put a little notch right there. You don't want to cut too much, just enough so that we know it's there. Now what we're going to do is we're going to put our pieces right sides together, which these already are, and we are going to sew at 5/8 of an inch. For the first part, this part here where our zipper is actually going to be, we are going to put our machine stitch to the widest possible setting. So we're just doing a basting stitch there. Once we get to this part here where the notch is, we are going to change it to a regular stitch. Most sewing machines, regular stitch is about 2.5. Here we have the seam also. You can see here, these are the basting stitches. And over here we got the stitches a little bit smaller at 2.5. Now, just like any other seam, we are going to press it open. One thing that's important to remember when you're installing zippers is that when you're using a thin fabric, you would want to put a piece of fusible interfacing right here where the zipper would be, just for a little bit extra stabilization. With something about this thick, it's really not as necessary, although it wouldn't hurt. So now that we got this pressed, we are going to turn it over to the right side, and we're going to use our ruler. We're going to use our ruler so we can mark where our stitch line is going to be. And I'm going to do 1/4 of an inch on both sides of the seam. Once you have this 1/4 of an inch on each side, we're going to turn it over to the back. And we're going to start lining up our zipper and pinning it in place. So it's kind of hard to see on camera, but you are going to try and line up the zipper teeth with your seam, and you're going to put the stop right above where you put those notches and lining up the teeth. We're going to put some pins. I'm not putting them in through properly because we're actually going to turn it over and pin it again. So these are just holding it in place until we put the real pins on the other side. So now we're going to turn it over to this side, and we're going to put the actual pins. Now that we got this zipped, we are going to go over to our sewing machine, and we are going to learn how to use a zipper foot. Here I have your typical zipper foot. As you can see in the back, it has these little grooves on the side. That's for the zipper teeth to go underneath. And then these little notches right here on the inside is where the needle usually goes in now. What's great about these is that you can actually use it on the right or the left side. So depending on which way your zipper's going, you can either snap it on this side or that side to kind of work it how you want. So I'm gonna snap it on that side. And for my sewing machine specifically, I have to move the needle in a little bit so it's actually inside of the notch. And I like to just to make sure it's in the place that I want it to be. Now, one of the hardest things, one of the most annoying things about sewing zippers is the zipper pull, which is right there at the beginning. It gets in the way, it's hard to kind of maneuver it. What I like to do is the zipper pull is up here. I like to start sewing about an inch away from that. So I do that, go all the way down, do all the way up to here, stop there. And then once we got this part down underneath, I take out the basting stitch, pull the zipper foot down, or pull the zipper pull down, and then finish the rest of the seam. Otherwise, up here, you're gonna have a really, really wonky looking seam. And I'm gonna move the zipper foot to where I can actually place it down without the zipper pull getting in the way. Once you got the zipper foot down, we're just gonna follow the line that we drew at 1/4 inch from the center. Now once we get to the corner, we're going to do what we always do at the corner. Put our needle down, lift up the foot, and pivot. Now this part, because it's so small, you can do it by turning the wheel with your hand or just go very, very slow. Once we get to the next corner, again, the needle is down, lift the foot up, and turn it. Take this out, and we're going to keep following the line. When you get to about where the zipper pull is again, just back stitch, and we're going to take it out. Once we're at this point, we're going to go ahead and take off the basting stitch to reveal the zipper pull. Once you've pulled enough of the stitches out, go ahead and open the zipper as far as you opened it. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to line up the edge of the foot with this piece, with a piece of fabric corresponding on its side. And with the bottom of the zipper already sewn, it should be pretty easy to line them up. And then what you're going to do is you're just going to keep following those lines. Once you clean all the fuzzies off, which believe me, there's going to be a lot, we are all done. Here you have all the stitching on the side. Zipper pull comes all the way over. And obviously you would choose a zipper that matches the fabric. You would also choose a thread that matches the fabric. So like I said, a lot of people seem to find zippers very intimidating, and I understand why, but it's one of those things that just the more you do it, the easier it will become, and eventually you'll be able to just do them without having to watch a YouTube video. So that would be cool. If you like today's video, make sure that you like, comment, share, subscribe, and ring the bell. You can also follow me on Instagram on @apolylook, where I post some of my current work and upcoming videos that are going to be on this channel. If you didn't like the video about zippers, you should zip it. Okay, bye.